Hey guys, Dana here. I'm your Flat Earth Doula. Thank you for clicking on this video. Please hit the thumbs up button and subscribe or follow the channel. I'm going to try and post this on 2 different platforms, and I don't know that it's going to stay up on either. We are going to be talking about the developing story out of Massachusetts of something being called EEE, and we need to find like a cooler name for it. I'm just going to call it the latest PSYOP, but we're going to be going through the news and looking at a couple clips and drawing some conclusions. I also want to leave you guys with some information here. I am going to be posting the patent number and some legal documents. You can feel free to look through it at your leisure. I strongly encourage you to always seek medical advice from a medical professional. Find a white coat that you trust and ask them. I'm certainly not here to diagnose or give anybody health advice. So let's just lay off with the reporting of this stuff. Everything I'm about to say is a conspiracy theory. It's not to be taken seriously. It's definitely not to be taken medical advice. If you're taking medical advice from somebody who's like a cashier at a big box store and does conspiracy videos on the side, you're okay. So here's what we're going to do. I'm going to get into some emails that I sent myself and some pictures to wrap the story up. There is a new potential pandemic that Massachusetts towns, pardon me, let me get to my, how do I get to my share screen? Oh, they don't know how to do that. Let's see if I can find it. There we go. All right, sorry, you guys. I'm a little slow, I can't help it. You're gonna have to be patient with me. All right. So we're going to just start, I guess, at the beginning. It seems the best way to go. In my opinion, they are getting ready to unleash another reason that mail-in voting has to be done during this election cycle. There is a town or township in Massachusetts where they have instituted a voluntary lockdown beginning at 6 p.m. until like October. Parents showed up en masse because they're afraid of how this is going to affect things like after school activities or extracurriculars that the children are involved in. This is obviously going to affect sports, and you know, a lot of schools rely on sports for part of their fundraising and such. So the implications of this are already far-reaching, and even more so because you have people who are seriously on edge after 2020. And for me personally, I spent maybe the first 2 weeks, honestly, being really nervous about COVID. I thought for sure that this, I thought one of two things. And this is what I told people. This is when they started calling me the Oracle. I said, this is one of two things. This is it. We're all fucked, right? Which is absolutely possible, right? Just found a charging block. You know what my kids do with these charging blocks? They hide them every damn where. And then when I need them, no charging block. So I said, this is either going to be a very serious pandemic and we're going to see widespread death from this, or it's going to be a dry run for something else. I didn't believe that COVID in and of itself was the event. I did believe and express belief that there was the potential for this disease to harm a great number of people, but that it was being used as a pretense to roll out what is essentially a new technology platform for what were previously called vaccines. Over the last 5 years, they've literally changed the definition of the word vaccine so that it now includes things like mRNA-based genetic shots. I mean, we don't know the long-term implication of any of this, because even Dr. Anthony fucking the Science Fauci himself was quoted as saying about the flu shot that you wouldn't know the outcomes, the health ramifications for like 10 or 15 years. You really have to go back and you have to look at these vaccines over a long period of time and study the people, and then you can draw your conclusions. Well, that's not what they do with vaccines, you guys. That's not what they did with the hepatitis B vaccine. How long do you think they followed? Since we give it to infants, it's usually given within the first 48 hours or so. It's primarily spread through HIV, through needles and through unprotected sex, much like HIV. Okay. So we're going through all of that. He himself said that it would take years. The hepatitis B vaccine. Well, we give it to infants. So how many infants did they test it on? Hold up, because they didn't exactly test it on infants. They tested on people between 0 and 10 years of age. So anyway, these kids, essentially, how long do you think they were followed for? How many years of research do you think went into it? 5? Would 5 be enough? Maybe. I mean, 5 years is a long time. I think you can, begin to draw some conclusions. Well, what if I told you it was 5 days that they followed these kids for 5 fucking days? And now it's all part of the childhood vaccine schedule. So I want to read off some quick facts to you, okay? I strongly encourage people, I can't read worth a dang, so you're going to have to excuse me. Okay. informedconsent.pa.org. I know it's going to be backwards, but just to show you what it looks like. This is the Pennsylvania Coalition for Informed Consent. It is a group that advocates for medical freedom within the home, especially as it relates to child health, but more broadly in the sense of vaccines altogether. So I'm not sure if you're aware of this, but in 1986, Congress did pass a law that granted vaccine manufacturers complete liability for any of their products that's on the childhood schedule. Parents that experience vaccine injury have to jump through a number of hoops in order to get compensation for it. The first thing they have to do is hire an attorney and hire a medical team that is willing to testify to that fact in court. And the case takes usually between 6 to 8 years. It's capped at $250,000, even in the case of death of a child or loved one. They make it a little unattainable, unapproachable. Vaccines are not subject to the same safety testing as other pharmaceuticals and have never been tested for carcinogency. This is the propensity to cause cancer. I'm going to go out on a limb, bookmark this post. We go out 10 years from now, a lot of these people that got certain types of vaccines are going to have an incredible amount of rare cancers. Now, we've already seen the explosion of cancer that I think, in my opinion, for entertainment purposes only, is directly related to the presence of an SV40, a simian gene that was in vaccines back when my parents were growing up. Of the 5 of them, 1 passed away at a younger age, unrelated instance, but the rest of them, but everybody else has cancer. So of the 4, 3 are confirmed to have had multiple, bouts of rare cancers, different types of cancers in each of the 3 cases. Now, my other uncle, I'm not in contact with too much. I don't know what's going on with him or his health, but I mean, I would be saddened, but I wouldn't be surprised to hear that he also has a rare cancer. We're going to see this not be rare anymore. So now we move on to this EEE. Okay, we're going to try and get back on track here because I'm really going off on a rant about vaccines. That's not what I meant to do. In Pennsylvania and in many other states, parents maintain the right to medical, religious, and or moral or ethical exemptions to vaccinations. Not in every state, but in most states. I believe California and New York are 2 of the states where you cannot decline any vaccines. You cannot decline the antibiotic gel that they smear in a newborn's eyes in the state of New York. Why do they smear the newborn's eyes? Because they assume the mom has gonorrhea. They just assume we all have gonorrhea and they do it anyway. You can't say no. Family history, sensitivity to antibiotics, tough shit. It's just, you got to roll with it because the government, big daddy government says that you have to for your safety, you guys. So all of this leads me to be pretty damn untrusting of the government. And anybody that's watched any of my videos for a length of time would know that because, well, there's 100 reasons not to trust these people. Now we're going to talk about the people that even Rumble might take me down for mentioning, Bill Gates. Does anybody remember when Bill Gates let all of these mosquitoes loose? Okay. He funds a biotech company that received experimental approval to create millions of genetically modified mosquitoes in various US states, allowing human immunization through mosquito bites as, quote, flying syringes EEE is now in the United States, you guys. This is a problem. Now, the Associated Press has debunked this claim. So as you guys know, the press is the friend of the people, and they would never, ever, ever lie to cover up something that the government is doing wrong. So they let go of this box full of mosquitoes, and they're saying it's debunked. It's a helicopter gender reveal. That, is it though? Because it looks like mosquitoes. It really does. The problem that I have, well, I mean, the problem that I find myself faced with now is that if the government comes out and says that EEE is, the new big pandemic, my fear is that a lot of freedom and liberty minded friends will be prone to kind of blow this off, and thus put themselves more at risk for contracting this virus. If we believe in germ theory, that's where we're coming from today, we have to in order to make sense of this conversation. So if all the unvaccinated conspiracy theorists are the ones who end up dying from this thing, it's going to be a pretty good marketing ploy for the COVID vaccine. No? So I feel like we absolutely need to exercise some caution here. And maybe there's some bottom baseline stuff we can do, from the application of essential oils, or just go full permethrin and just spray that shit all over yourself and get a shower at the end of the day, spray your clothes to keep the mosquitoes away. Maybe chemical warfare is our best bet against EEE. I mean, that's really hard to say. EEE. There's got to be better. I got to look those numbers up in gematria and see what else they spell out. What is 555 in gematria? Do you guys want to find out with me? Let's see if we can find out together, because now I'm curious. Because we know that the elites speak through. Let's see. Let's get all this done. Down. Harry, I'll check up with you soon, girlfriend. Okay. Gematria, cipher, CYP. Yep. I'm not cipher. Maybe I'm doing it that way. All right. So this Eastern equine encephalitis is, encephalitis refers to swelling of the brain. Equine because it comes from horses. Obviously, swelling of the brain can lead to death. It can lead to long-term damage. It can lead to neurological damage. Encephalitis is also a known reported side effect of vaccinations. So when you couple the fact that, a child may have just been vaccinated, with a live virus vaccine, and then they contract something like that, unfortunately, I think that child would be in a much more difficult position to fight that virus off than a child would be who hadn't received any vaccines, who had like a full fat, full of vitamins, nutrient dense, healthy thing. I think they have a better chance of fighting it off. Does it mean that people that do that are guaranteed to live through this, if in fact this is something we have to live through, as opposed to just like a passing psyop? I don't know. I don't know how the public tide is going to go there. Let's see. EEE 555. Calculate the gematria. So I don't know what this is. Jewish gematria. English simple gematria. EEE 555. Let's see what else EEE. Okay, let's try that. Oh, where'd you go, baby? Oh, back. Bring it back. There you go. You got it. EE in Hebrew gematria equals 15. English gematria is 90. Okay. Phi in simple gematria. I'm not sure that I understand what that means. Make America Great. Again. Let's see. Calculate gematria. View brood birds. Of course. Of course you want to view the brood birds. Hello. Okay. Make America great again. So there's all this, I guess, these other phrases. Decode. Well, there you go. Mind control. I think that's probably fair. This, I don't know what this is or means. Mesopotamia, the chosen of God, Crocus. Okay, so I don't know. There's something up with the encephalitis. Calculate the gematria. I don't know what any of this means. I don't understand the concept of gematria other than to know that it's the application of numerical value to certain words or phrases or letters, such that it adds up and then can be put through these various, what they call ciphers. Okay. So we're going to jump on over here. Parts of Massachusetts are currently on lockdown again for after 6 p.m. All the way to like one was like the middle of September, the other one was like the very beginning of October, and I'm like, holy shit, they're really going to lock us down in turn for the elections. And so that's what I'm nervous about, and I'm curious about your thoughts. So I'm wondering if everybody out there is feeling the same sense of doom and feeling like we're in like a holding pattern until after the elections. And there's no guarantee that if they can't fortify the elections through pestilence, mail-in ballots, and greed, it's not to say that if Trump wins, that things are going to be great. I don't think that. I do think that given the choice of the two, it's pretty clear to me which one to pick. Nobody even voted for Kamala. Her own party didn't vote her in. I didn't get a fucking, they didn't mail me out one of those ballots so I could pick who I wanted to be the candidate. No. And yes, I'm a registered Democrat and socially democratic, but you guys are pushing me further and further to the other side every day. And in fact, I saw this meme that I thought was very appropriate for today, because I feel like this is what people don't understand, like what's happening in our world, because the line has moved so much. The line has moved so much that it's impossible for us to stay on your side anymore, right? So like first, like it's this idea that like you're pushing people with the extremism, you're pushing people so far outside that they are refusing to be a part of your quote unquote democratic process. And the more people that he pushes out, well, they, whoever they are, whoever they push out, believe something though. The only person that's going to get in that White House is a person who is like allowed by they to get into the White House. Even Trump, and I will be voting for him, even he is, in my opinion, a Mason, a Freemason. And not, look, I know there's Freemasonry, and I know you can go into it if you're not related, and I get it. You can go through the degrees and get the pins, or I mean, just the sash. I don't know what you do. There is that. That is Freemasonry. But I'm talking about upper level, upper echelons, people like the Court of Jesters, the Knights of Malta. I'm talking about the people that are way up top. Those are the type of Freemasonry secret societies that I do believe has their are controlling things from above, making the politicians dance like marionettes. I think sometimes their plans go awry, like somebody tilts their head and the bullet misses them and kills somebody behind them. Like, I do think that they can try, but they have limited opportunity. And now with all the eyes that are on Trump, he's so rich that it would be unbelievably friggin' stupid for him not to have a backup security team whose sole job it is to spy on the Secret Service, because obviously there's something going on there. I mean, that chick, they fired that chick But the guy that was right under her became the temporary or assistant head of the FBI. He was there for all the bullshit. Nothing's changed. And of course, this woman will go into work for some ridiculous leftist business. Maybe she'll go to Planned Parenthood or something. Jesus. And work with them and do security. I'm telling you guys, I'm having a day where like just the thoughts are just nonstop. And like, am I the only one going through this? Am I the only one that's dealing with this shit right now? Here's what I want y'all to look up today, okay? Just, give this a screenshot. There's an experimental use permit. And these are for, this is to release genetically modified mosquitoes. At the same time that we have, let's see here, at the same time that we have pictures of mosquitoes being released over the public. Now they're saying this is supposed to be a gender reveal. Y'all, that's black mosquitoes. That's not a fucking gender reveal. That's the dumbest shit I ever heard. There's more than one video. I mean, there's a Jesus, look at this. What's trending? Lucifer. All right. Sure. Let's see.
Incite war, because more important than the money that they control is the most important parameter of a tyrannical system, a tiny minority ruling over the masses.
Well, folks, I don't know if you can hear this. It'll be interesting to look back and see.
Able to rule people.
Here's what I do want to say.
Divide them. So you must divide them. What divides people more than anything else? War.
What divides people more than anything else? War, mass murder, horrendous crimes, torture, things like that are good in the
Another
youth of
place we
anger.
can go to is Iran, which I'm heading back to again. There's 100,000 victims in Iran from the chemical weapons.
Chemical weapons used in Iran are just
of the CIA. This is
cool. It's cool. We live in a very cool world. I don't know why Lucifer's trending on Twix, but oh, also you do know, I mean, this is a painting of Lucifer. There's a picture of one of the Rothschilds, maybe, and that crazy Abrina Abramovich standing in front of this, the painting of Lucifer, which is the Statue of Liberty. It's not liberty, it's Apollyon, it's about sun worship, it's about old world Babylonian ancient cults. A lot of this can actually get you in the direction of understanding that the sun, we're not spinning around the sun. We're just, that's not how this works. It's not how any of this works. But that's neither here nor there. Anyway, glad that we jumped on this little thread. So I just want to show you again, it's really, really difficult for me to understand how people are not making these connections. And if people aren't making these connections, what else do I have to do to try to help you understand? Because when I was a doula, what I really enjoyed about the job was having some expertise and somebody that was interested in hiring me for said expertise. But a lot of people didn't know what they were getting, right? Because they don't really know what a doula is. It's not a very common word. And it's just somebody that's a childbirth assistant, not there for medical needs, there for physical support, massage your back, get you a washcloth, hold the bucket while you puke, somebody to instruct your husband in the proper way to apply counter pressure to relieve the back labor that you're having, making sure that he can take a break, go sit down and get something to eat and go to the bathroom. There's got to be somebody there to kind of walk folks through that. And that's what I want this channel to be about. And in terms of like flat earth doula, I'm not going to be talking about that often. But what I will say is that I strongly advise you to become familiar with the ideas of Babylonian sun worship and what that looks like. And also with the principles of these Freemason societies, because now we do have information at our fingertips. They haven't been able to change everything yet. The ability to seek that knowledge out is literally at your fingertips as I sit here on my computer, right? So it's important to me that I am able to communicate that with you guys clearly. If there's anything you have, suggestions for other videos, please leave it in the comments down below. If you leave a comment, it really helps in the algorithm. It helps the algorithm recognize and pick up the video and show it to other people. I don't care if 2 people in the whole world ever watch this video, but I would really love it if number 2 shared it with the third, and then that third person, a light bulb goes off for that person, and they're like, oh my God, this is crazy shit. And then they start researching for themselves. That's what I want. That's what I want most of all, is to bring this information to people, to shed a light, to pull back a veil, like layers of an onion, right? So like it stinks and it's not a lot of fun. And I can be a little bit of a black pill, but I'm also incredibly realistic. And if I tell you that there's hope, there's fucking hope, because I don't blow smoke up people's ass. I never did that as a doula. I don't like to lie to people like that. I am not, nothing annoys me more than false hope and optimism. God bless you if you believe it, but I'm just not there. And I don't know if I ever will be. But there is hope for us as a country, as a people. First thing we have to do is survive the next psyop. So until then, guys, I want you to keep your head on a swivel. I appreciate you tuning into this video, and I do hope you will join me for the next one. Take